Viewers of Emmerdale are convinced they have figured out which unexpected resident could finally bring down Dr. Todd. Caroline Harker currently portrays the ruthless Dr. Caitlin Todd in the popular ITV drama series. For several months, Dr. Todd has been tormenting her trainee, Jacob Sugden, leading him to submit a formal complaint to HR. The manipulative doctor has since shifted her attention to Charity Dingle after discovering that Jacob's newborn baby, Layla, is not biologically his. Instead, the child is actually Charity's daughter with Ross Barton. Todd initially demanded £10,000 to keep the secret hidden, but later increased the amount to £100,000 after finding out that Charity owns half of the Woolpack. Desperate to raise the money, Charity started searching for someone willing to buy her share of the pub and first approached Ruby Miligan. After that plan failed, Charity reluctantly asked Kim Tate for help, and the home farm businesswoman eventually agreed to hand over £130,000 in cash. However, Kim warned that completing the paperwork would take a few weeks. In Friday's episode, now available on ITVX, Charity visited Tug Gill to update Todd on the situation. Charity explained that she had found a buyer for her half of the pub and would soon have access to the £100,000, although it would take longer than expected. Todd responded by telling Charity to return home while she considered the proposal. Later on, the doctor accepted the arrangement. Charity then laid down strict rules, warning Todd to stay away from her family and stop interfering in the lives of Mac, Ross, and Vanessa. She also insisted that once the money was transferred, Todd should leave the village for good and never return. Todd appeared amused rather than intimidated, teasing Charity about whether she would miss her. Charity fired back with a threat, promising serious consequences if Todd tried to betray her or cause more trouble. Unbothered by the warning, Todd jokingly accused Charity of flirting with her again. The tense exchange happened only days after the pair's explosive confrontation in the Woolpack toilets. Although the scene initially appeared empty, many viewers now suspect another villager may have secretly overheard Todd's threats. Several fans believe Ruby was hiding inside one of the cubicles and could end up being the person who finally exposes Todd's sinister behavior. One fan commented online that they were convinced somebody was in the toilets listening to the argument, while another said they hoped it was Ruby. A third viewer predicted that Ruby would be the one to destroy Todd and suggested she had definitely overheard the conversation. Another fan agreed, speculating that Ruby could inform Caleb and the Dingles, who may already be planning revenge behind the scenes. Emmerdale viewers saw Dawn Fletcher issue Joe Tate with a final warning during tonight's dramatic episode, as rumours continue to grow that Olivia Bromley could be preparing to leave the ITV soap. In recent months, speculation surrounding Bromley's future on the programme has intensified following ITV's scheduling shake-up. Fans already know that Dawn has secretly been plotting against Joe for weeks, joining forces with Moira and Kane in an attempt to take his money after discovering he was responsible for Moira being sent to prison. Now expecting Joe's baby, Dawn has found herself struggling with fear, guilt, and the hope of finally escaping his influence. In the previous episode, which ended on a major cliffhanger, she attempted to leave him behind permanently. During tonight's installment, Dawn stopped the car before eventually going inside to confront Joe. He admitted that he partly blamed himself for her father's death because of the pressure and trouble he had caused over the years. Joe confessed that the guilt had stayed with him ever since. Joe then came clean about everything he had done and desperately begged Dawn not to abandon him. He insisted he would do anything to make things right and promised her the future they had once imagined together. Joe declared that he loved her, wanted to marry her, and hoped they could build a family and future together. Elsewhere, Graham also decided to confess his own dark secret to Kim, admitting that he had once tried to kill her. He explained that he deeply regretted his actions and said he could finally recognize the woman he had originally fallen in love with years earlier. Graham admitted that seeing Kim surrounded by her family reminded him why he cared for her in the first place, despite all the pain and betrayal that had happened between them. He added that he had spent years trying to move on from everything that happened in the past. Later, while talking privately with Graham in the kitchen, Joe admitted he could not imagine living without Dawn, completely unaware that she was secretly listening nearby. Dawn later explained that honesty was all she had ever wanted from him, and suggested their relationship might still survive, but only if he finally ended his war with the Dingles once and for all. She firmly warned Joe that the feud with the family had to stop immediately, and made it clear that if he ever repeated his behavior again, it would completely destroy any future they still had together. Emmerdale fans were delighted after tonight's episode finally brought some light relief to the village, following weeks filled with emotional drama, heartbreak, and chaos. Viewers especially enjoyed the moment. Ross and Sam's suspicious secret was revealed in a hilarious twist. Many fans described the scenes as exactly what the ITV soap had been lacking, particularly when Robert and Aaron burst into laughter after accidentally discovering the truth inside the barn. For several episodes, viewers had been trying to work out who was responsible for the fires at Emmerdale Farm. Initially, Joe Tate appeared to be the most likely culprit. However, Robert soon questioned that theory, pointing out that Joe already had enough influence to remove them from the property entirely, making secret arson attacks seem unnecessary. Attention later turned towards Kev, Robert's ex-husband, because of his past connection to fire-related crimes, but that possibility quickly disappeared once it was revealed that Kev had already returned to prison. Suspicion then shifted firmly onto Ross and Sam due to their increasingly odd behavior around the barns. The pair had been acting strangely for days, with Ross even handing Sam a lighter while telling him to do the honors, leaving Aaron convinced they were involved in something illegal. Ross attempted to distract suspicion by offering to investigate the fires for Robert in exchange for money. Despite the offer, Aaron remained unconvinced and eventually decided to secretly follow the pair, with Robert tagging along behind him. When they quietly peered through the barn doors, they were stunned to discover Ross and Sam were not plotting any criminal activity at all. Instead, Ross had been secretly teaching Sam how to dance in the hope of impressing Lydia. The lighter also turned out to have a completely innocent explanation, as it was only meant to light candles and create a romantic setting. As Ross and Sam practiced their dance routine together, Robert and Aaron struggled to hold back their laughter while hiding behind the barn entrance. The situation became even more amusing once Ross realized they had been caught, leading to several funny exchanges as he desperately tried to hide his embarrassment. The scenes delivered a rare moment of humor and warmth among the soap's darker storylines, and viewers were thrilled to see some genuine happiness return to the program. Many fans particularly loved watching Robert and Aaron smiling and laughing together again after so much emotional tension between them. One viewer wrote online, "Seeing Robert and Aaron laughing together tonight was so lovely. We haven't seen them properly smile in such a long time, and we definitely need more moments like this." Emmerdale usually airs on ITV on weekday evenings at 8 p.m, while episodes are also made available earlier on ITVX from 7 a.m.